I'm often asked about the most exhilarating Porsche in Porsche's lineup, and people think it's a 911, and I asked if it's a 911 and I'm like, no, it's a Cayman. It's because they know the answer. And today I'll cover the 987 Cayman S and why I think this is probably the most exhilarating and the most, I guess, hair-tingling car you can get. Firstly, when it comes to these cars, I think they got to be spec'd right. This has my favorite alloys. These are the 19-inch Carrera S Edition 1 alloys. It's finished in the Atlas Grey Metallic. But when it comes to the Cayman S, you've also got to have the right sound from the exhaust system, and this has exactly that. As you can see from this little gap underneath, this has got the uprated or the upgraded sports exhaust system. The Caymans, as a matter of fact, are more exhilarating because of the mid-engine layout, because the engine is right here and the transmission, as a matter of fact, is behind it. This is the 3.4 litre, which actually produces 295 brake horsepower, 340 Newton meters of torque, and a 0 to 62 is possible in 5.4 seconds. And if you are somebody that's worried about economy, in terms of combined MPG, you could be doing up to about 25 miles per gallon. And in terms of motorways MPG, that's normally between 30 to 35 miles per gallon. The rest of the spec on this is also incredible. Let me invite you in to show you around. This has everything you would want in a sports car. You've got sports seats, which are electrically adjustable with memory settings, which work phenomenally with the 2 keys. You've got the sports leather steering wheel here, and you've also got the controls to do the lumbar support and to do the various adjustments from the seats here. You've got the Porsche system management, the PSM button here. You've got the 6-speed manual transmission, which is absolutely phenomenal and very sharp and very precise. Additionally, from a mechanical point of view, this is going to put a massive smile on anyone's face out there that's looking for a Porsche and that knows what they're looking for when it comes to buying a Porsche. This has got the Nickel liners, all the engineering, engine rebuild, mechanical side of things was actually done by Hartech, and the rebuild and the taking it apart and putting it back together side of things was done by a Porsche specialist called RPM. So in total it had 11 grand worth of, works done. We've got the invoices for that, and additionally it's just had a brand new clutch put in. Let's take it out for a drive, put it onto the road and tell you about the main topic of the video, which is exhilarating. But before we can drive it, don't forget to press that subscribe button, and whatever money we make out of YouTube actually gets donated to charity. So should you want to donate to them directly, the link is in the description below. Additionally, we actually, as I said, donate all of our revenue and help us continue supporting this channel and keep growing this channel. If you are looking to buy a Cayman elsewhere in another part of the world and you would like a perspective from us, feel free to drop me a message and I'll do what I can to advise and give you my perspective on it. Thank you. Now that we're inside the vehicle, it's actually very comfortable sitting in one of these, especially with the sports seats behind you. They really hold you and hug you. Put it in reverse. Because of the new clutch, it's very easy to, as a matter of fact, put this in gear and take off, because it's a brand new clutch kit on this. From the get-go, the Caymans produce a very beautiful sound because they're raw and naturally aspirated. It's got the Boxer flat 6 engine, which Porsche's, the Porsche brand is phenomenally well known for them. And in sort of 1997, this is where they sort of transitioned from the air-cooled to the water-cooled. And in my opinion, when they introduced the Caymans in 2005, I think this is probably one of the best or the better things Porsche have done in terms of product development. Because I frequently get asked from very much a experience point of view, how good is a Porsche Cayman? And I'd say it's excellent. And additionally, that's because of the heritage of it. These are based on the early Porsche 356s in terms of the body shape of it and the fact that it shares many similar characteristics to the 356s and the 50s Porsches, such as having greater torsional rigidity, and overall this has a monocoque chassis, so resembles and from a design point of view borrows many facets from those 50 cars. But now we're in second gear, cruising along at about 2000 RPM. Let's put our foot down, hear the exhaust and see what it sounds like. with any car or with any sports car, when you are going to be driving it like I'm doing to it now, what you want is good tires, and you're in good hands with this because it's got 4 brand new tires. 6,500 RPM. Thanks to that mid-engine layout, the Caymans are so well planted, they're perfectly balanced and proportioned, and the way they handle at top speed all around corners, it's uncomparable really with any other sports car. So kudos to Porsche. And the design is so futuristic. I think when you ask a kid or when you ask someone that is a newbie on what this is, they think this is, you know, almost like an almost new Porsche if they didn't know this was built in the mid in 2005s. But yeah, all introduced in 2005s. And the fact they're naturally aspirated, they carry on giving more and more. How much, you know, it just depends on the effort you put into it. The more effort you put into something like this, the more you get out of it. And phenomenal in junctions like this, just to pull off. So the naturally aspirated Porsches, I mean this, we're getting up to the top speeds in no time. So the naturally aspirated Porsches just carry on giving. Top speed wise, this does 171 miles per hour. I don't in any form or shape recommend you to be driving one of these at 171 miles an hour, but believe it or not, I've had customers that have pushed cars like this very close to this kind of speed. So, you know, it's completely down to you how you like to drive your cars, but, you know, I advise not to do that on the roads. And in terms of fun and in terms of confidence, in terms of safety wise and what these are like on the road, for me, the Cayman is the car that I feel more secure and more confident in driving. And a big part of this arises from the fact that it has that mid-engine 50-50 sort of a split balance from a drivability point of view. Like the 911-4 or the 911-4Ss or the turbos, the fact they're four-wheel drive don't really mean much to me, because I still feel like so much of the ground and the hard work is done by the rear wheel just to not take away the original 911 characteristics, and the front wheels really come into play when they actually need to kind of be used, rather than them being sort of almost like a permanent four-wheel drive system from a safety point of view. This is where, for me, the Caymans wins it all day, every day. Exhilarating or not, absolutely exhilarating. This is the most fun you could actually have in a Porsche, because the gearbox is so precise, so sharp. I mean, you know, we're coming up to this junction, and just to illustrate how quickly I can actually put in first gear. First gear, traffic is coming, let's take off. How it pulls away is phenomenal. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's a great load of fun. The brakes work fantastically well, so, you know, I'm not disappointed in any way, form or shape in what I'm able to get out of the Cayman. So, one last time. Beautiful, so engaging. I mean, I get to drive an automatic car, or pretty much, you know, anything out there, and so used to driving PDK Porsches all the time. that sometimes you actually forget that these cars have a soul, and these cars want to give you something that you don't normally feel like having all the time. But when you don't have it, you really miss it. And I think I'm at that point today. I'm at that point where I extremely miss it, and I look forward to driving a manual 6-speed analog and just feel the gear changes, first, second, third, fourth, hear the grunt from the engine, from the exhaust, and feel the energy, and feel connected to the car, feel connected to the road. And this is what I got out of this Cayman. So if you are looking for a Cayman, we've got this in stock, and it is available as of right now, sort of towards the end of July. It's got phenomenal paperwork. It's had an engine rebuild, and it's going to put a lot of smiles on someone's face out there if they are looking for one.